Hello, my name is Jeff Jackson, and I am the owner of Barefoot Properties in Belize, Central America. I am also a doctoral student at California Intercontinental University. I'd like to welcome you to my video. As part of my video series, I like to use props as a means of visualization so that I can convey the concept of what I'm trying to communicate to those who watch these videos. As you will note, I have a tool box here, which I'll use as my prop. Just as a mechanic or a tradesperson has a professional toolbox in which they keep all their tools of their trade, as a manager, I believe we should also have a professional toolbox where we keep the professional tools of our trade safely kept away, where we can access it and use it whenever we need it appropriately. It is my goal throughout these video series and these training sessions that I might be able to impart upon you some of the tools of the trade that I have learned as a manager and that have helped me in my career. I appreciate you watching this video, and I truly hope that some of these tools you'll find helpful throughout your career. Thank you.
In today's global and competitive marketplace, employers are searching for employees who possess the right mix of leadership and experience to fill key positions in their organizations. In some cases, these organizations will search internally for a leader, and in other cases, they will recruit externally to find a leader for their organization. So given the fact that leadership skills are in such high demand, how does someone become a leader? Equally important is defining the meaning of leadership. In many organizations, you will find heads of departments labeled as managers. Does that then signify that these people are automatically also leaders? Conversely, if you are a leader in an organization, does that role still require you to manage people and resources in the same manner as a manager? And what if you are not a manager or leader? Does that then make you a follower? And does that mean that you have no influence in leadership decisions? The answers to all these questions could be a yes or no, depending upon the person and the situation. In this training session, I will explain the differences in roles between managers, leaders, and followers. Additionally, I have developed a 5-step process that anyone can follow in a business environment that will enable them to develop their leadership skills. And lastly, I will discuss where to go for help in developing your leadership skills. First, we will start by defining what the differences are between leaders, managers, and followers, and discuss how each of these roles interacts with one another. In Andrew DeBrine's book entitled Leadership, a leader is defined as a person who influences others to achieve organizational goals. Leaders also have a vision of what the organization can become and are able to mobilize people to accomplish it. Management differs from leadership in that management is a more formal and scientific approach. Managers rely on universal skills such as planning, budgeting, and controlling, and utilize tools and techniques based upon reasoning and testing that can be used in a variety of situations. A key point to note about followers is that without dedicated followers, there would be nobody for a leader to lead. Additionally, all good leaders have experienced the role of a follower at some point in their career before rising to a leadership position. This experience enables leaders to understand firsthand the importance that followers serve in achieving organizational goals. One question that always emerges when the subject of leadership is discussed is, can leadership be taught, or is it something you are born with? It is my belief that leadership skills can be taught and that leaders can emerge from training, education, and experience. For example, consider West Point Military Academy as a prime example of Leadership Training Institute. But what most people do not know about West Point is that it does not turn young men and women into leaders. What West Point does, however, is they provide future leaders with the tools to develop the leadership within themselves. It is not a fast process, and it requires years of training, education, and experience before West Point cadets graduate and become commissioned officers in the military. But in this training session, I will be providing you with the steps that you can follow in the business community to help develop your leadership skills. There are 5 steps that I'll be discussing regarding leadership. In the slides that follow, I will go over each of these steps in greater detail so that you will have a clear path to chart in developing or enhancing your leadership skills. The first step in developing your leadership skills is to find a mentor. Mentoring programs and organizations may be formal or informal. In formal programs, someone is assigned to you as a mentor. Your mentor may be an experienced manager or staff professional from your organization. Mentors are charged with developing their protégés through tutoring, guidance, coaching, and emotional support. In informal programs, shadowing may be the learning method that is applied. In a shadow program, a protégé observes a leader by following them around for a period of time. During the shadowing process, the protégé makes observations about actions and decisions made by the leader, and they discuss these issues together at a future predetermined meeting. As a learning tip, at some point in your career, you should consider approaching one of the leaders in your organization whom you trust and let them know that you are interested in developing your leadership skills and that you would appreciate the opportunity to be mentored in order to further develop your management skills. Most great leaders will jump at the chance to help and train a future manager in his organization, especially if it's something that will make their future workload easier to handle. Step 2 of the leadership skills development is to become a follower. Great leaders of the world throughout time were all once followers or team members at some point in their lives. Followers can gain valuable knowledge by being observant and watching what their managers do successfully and, in some cases, unsuccessfully to lead others. As a training tip, I recommend that you take notes on successful manager actions that you have witnessed and keep them inside your manager's toolbox to be used at a later date when needed. Step 3 in developing your leadership skills is to build your knowledge base. You can do this through colleges, universities, or private businesses that offer leadership training and skills development courses, as well as certificates and degrees. In the business environment, leadership programs are sold individually or in packages to organizations, and may or may not include facilitators to train on leadership principles and theories. Even in the pre-college schools, there are opportunities for youth to develop leadership skills by joining organizations and participating in school activities. As a training tip, I recommend you search out leaders that have inspired you and study their successes and mistakes and learn from their experiences. Step 4, practice and forgive. Some of the greatest achievements in many people's lives almost did not happen because of their failures. For example, many people do not know that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and following this rejection, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. When Walt Disney was a young man, he was fired from a newspaper he was working for because the editor thought him not to have imagination nor any original ideas. Even Thomas Edison's teachers told him he was, quote, too stupid to learn anything, and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality, end quote. These are just 3 examples of people who had to learn from their failures and practice to become better and eventually become leaders in their field. After you've identified a leadership mentor, I would suggest that you volunteer to lead small internal groups and projects in your organization in order to develop your own leadership style and make yourself stand out when the organization starts searching for future potential managers. Step 5, set sail. As the old saying by John Shedd goes, quote, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships were built for, end quote. Just as it takes time to develop the skills to become a captain of a ship, building leadership skills takes time also. But once you have developed your skills as a leader, you have to be willing to sail your ship out of the harbor. Throughout history, countless young men after training, mentorship, and experience were offered the opportunity to raise their anchors, unfurl their ship's sails, and set sail for open waters. Do you know when your day will come to take the helm? When that day comes, will you have the knowledge, training, experience, and confidence to navigate your ship out of the harbor and sail your ship to its destination? So where can you go for help? I recommend you start with asking your organization about leadership training opportunities that might exist that you can take advantage of. There are also numerous private training programs or colleges and universities that offer leadership certification programs or degree programs in leadership. In fact, California Intercontinental University offers degree programs which emphasize leadership knowledge in various fields of study. I would recommend checking with California Intercontinental University or any other accredited institution of higher learning and researching opportunities that you may be able to pursue to further develop your leadership skills and to be acknowledged for your efforts through certifications or degrees. In this presentation, I have clarified the roles of leaders, managers, and followers, and I have outlined 5 steps towards leadership that you can apply towards developing your leadership skills. When you observe all the opportunities available, you will note that there is a lot of time, talent, and money being expended by our society on teaching leadership skills. If you are interested in setting sail with your career, then I recommend you follow the steps identified in this presentation and gain the knowledge, skills, and experience needed to be the captain of your ship and to set sail to your future destination. Thank you for watching.